Marguerite. How are we feeling? Irene. Yeah, man. That's my brother and sister there. So my brother was in Jamaica last week. He lives in Jamaica. So he experienced Hurricane Sandy in Jamaica. He decided he didn't have enough, so he's come up here to experience it too. Anyway, that's not what I'm talking about. Just delighted to have them here. So a few weeks ago, an email landed in my inbox, and I actually happened to see it. And it said something about a luncheon talk by some guy who was going to be speaking about making Toronto a happy city. I'm like, a happy city? Because when I see words like happy, laughter, and joy, if you don't know me yet, you will know that I would say, I have to be there. Or, as we would say in Jamaica, I mean that. So I went to this luncheon. And there was a gentleman by the name of Rahul Bardwaj. He's the CEO of the Toronto Community Foundation. And he was speaking about, he was presenting the Vital Signs 2012 report about Toronto as a livable city. And he said, you know something, I'm not going to present that. What I really want to talk about is how can Toronto be a happy city? A place where we move, where we work, and where we live happily. Well, I kind of looked around. I was thrilled. I was like, happiness. I looked around and people were like, in the suits and the costume and stuff, sort of looking like this. So on the train home, I'm saying, but happy city, how do we get a happy city? Should I write Mayor Ford? Somehow, I don't think so. And then it occurred to me that happy city needs happy citizens. And then I said to myself, but which comes first? Do we have a happy city and then we get the happy citizens? Or do we have happy citizens and then we get the happy city? And you know what I decided? I decided you gotta have happy citizens to have a happy city. And so I said, Toronto is already a happy city for me, because I am a happy person. So I wanted to share with you two things that one would need to do, just two, that you can start doing like right now, to be a happy citizen. The first is a thought. You've got to decide. And the second is an action. So let's deal with the thought first. Every moment we have a decision to make. Are we going to be happy or are we going to be unhappy? And it's as simple as that. So hurricanes are in the air, and I was remembering many years ago, Hurricane Ivan was 2004 or something. But anyway, passed through Jamaica, was a category 5. We know hurricanes, we're like, yeah. Hurricane Sandy, we've been there, Gilbert, Ivan, whatever. Anyway, passed through Jamaica and was a category 5. So I loaded up my children in the house, and it struck at night, which is the most dangerous time for a hurricane to hit, because you just don't know what in the world is happening. So we kind of holed up in a room, me and my 3 kids, 1 adult kid and 2 sort of children. And we're holed up, so we lie down on the bed with dogs all over us. And next thing I know, it's morning, because I am happy. And Ivan is coming, and so what? And Mark, my big son, he says, Mommy, you didn't hear the wind howling. I was so scared. I'm like, really? You didn't hear when the tree crashed? I'm like, no. I stepped right through a category 5 hurricane. Because I decided, you know what? I'm going to be happy. Whatever. So you've got to decide at any moment, I am going to be happy in whatever situation I am in. And that's my decision every single morning when I get up. I'm going to be happy today. And that's what happens. The second thing is to appreciate, and that's the action. I love people who live in Toronto. We complain about everything. It's too hot, it's too cold, it's too rainy, it's too sunny. It's never just perfect. But you know, if we get into this attitude of just appreciating, then we actually become happy. So let me share two of the things. I actually love Toronto. So when I go back to Jamaica, people say, you like it? I say, yes. Then how you manage with the cold? And I'm like, I just make up my mind to manage and be happy. Wow. So let me share two of the things. Number one, just two of the things that I love about Toronto, two of the things that I appreciate about Toronto that makes me happy. Number one, the TTC. How many of you here take the TTC? How many of you here love the TTC? Well, I love the TTC. I do. Let me tell you why. Number of reasons. Number one, it saves me a bag of money because I don't have to buy a car. How many of you have a car? How many thousands of dollars does it cost you every year to have the car? Excuse me. I'm laughing all the way to the back. Thank you, TTC. I love it. Number one. So it saves me money. It saves me time. When I'm coming downtown, I get here faster than if I were to drive. It's fantastic entertainment. Have you ever sat? You know how Rob was doing all those masks? I'm sitting there like, but I see this. This is what I see on the TTC, right? That's what you see on the TTC. So you sit there and you're like, oh, this is interesting. Not to mention the lovely musicians in the station and so on. So I actually love the Oh yes, and it gets me from A to B. Pretty much on time. I love the TTC. When people hear me say that, they're like, what? I say, yeah, I love it. Let's take the TTC. And the subway and the bus, and absolutely love it. So I'm always singing the praises of the TTC. And you know what? I've had some wonderful experiences with the TTC. Absolutely. Now, does that mean it can't get better? Of course it can get better, but I appreciate it and love it. And all the booth collectors are my friends and they know me, and it's just a wonderful ride. So that's one thing that I absolutely love that makes me happy. I live in this happy city. The second thing, who wants to guess what the second thing is?
MoMondays?
That too. So sometimes when I'm in a cheeky mood, I moved here 3 years ago from Jamaica, and people will say, Marguerite, why did you move from Jamaica to Canada? I'm like, why do you think? For the weather. Why else? I mean, why else would somebody move from Jamaica to Canada? So I actually love the weather. No. I do. And what I've done is I get outside and I just love the 4 seasons. You see, in Jamaica we have 1 or 2, hurricane and something else, not hurricane. But I actually love the seasons changing, and I've grown to just adore the ravines. I'm a runner and I run in the ravines. And I just love that every season the ravines look totally different. You know, in spring you have the buds blooming. In summer it's warm and lush and colorful. And in fall, I was running through the other day and I'm like, I said to my friends, wow, I feel like I'm running on a jigsaw puzzle. You know, the jigsaw puzzles of autumn. But my very favorite time of running in the ravines is winter. Because when you have that snow that's just fallen, and it's quiet and still and pristine, I just thrill. So yes, I actually love the weather. It makes me happy. So I already live in a happy city. And I'm going to ask you to do one quick thing. Turn to somebody beside you and just in 2 seconds or less tell them one thing that you appreciate and love about Toronto.
All right.
Okay, so now I got you started. I can't stop you. But you know what? Every morning, remember, decide to be happy. Decide that this is where you live or whatever city you live in. Decide you're going to be a happy citizen and appreciate the beauty, the life, the joy of the city, and in particular, this fabulous, happy city of Toronto. Because this is our city. So you know what? Mayor Ford, you, as we'd say in Jamaica, go on, do your things.